Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth. My pronouns are she, her. Welcome to my Flosstube channel. This is Savory Sewing. Today is Sunday, February 9th, 2025, better known as Superb Owl Sunday for those of you who celebrate. And this is Flosstube number 43. For those of you who don't celebrate, it's probably Super Bowl Sunday and you're probably eating chicken wings and delicious chili or other finger foods and watching sports. I, however, am filming a Flosstube and not doing any of those things. So, if that's your jam, welcome. Hopefully, when this video gets up, before the game is over, you'll have something to keep your mind off of football. We are neither Chiefs nor Eagles fans in this house, so my partner's not even watching the game. He went off to play poker. He's a Vikings fan, and if you're also a Vikings fan, it was a rough year. I'm from upstate New York. I'm a Giants fan. When's the last time the Giants were good, folks? Did the Giants even have a quarterback? I don't even know. Anyway, enough talk about football. We're about to have a football-free life for the next 6 months, so we are celebrating today. And we're going to celebrate with cross-stitch. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm actually super annoyed right now because I just filmed a 45-minute video and went to edit it and the sound was all mucked. So we're redoing this. So I'm extra juicy right now. Maybe overcompensating for my annoyance. But whatever. That means I've already practiced once, so this one should be superb, right? Isn't that the way it's supposed to go? It's not going to be superb. It's going to be on par with most other videos. But that's okay. So it is early February. Last video was the end of January, but not quite the end of January. So we're going to talk quickly about how January ended up. I did have, actually while I'm here, let's do fully finishes and then we'll wrap up January because then you won't be spoiled with the finish I haven't shown you yet. But I am going to show you one fully finished object that's actually old because it's February, so love is in the air, right? I don't have like any Valentine's Day stitching. Apparently I'm not a very loving human. My partner might agree with you. But I have one cute pillow. This is a free pattern from Hands On Design. Every year she releases a like anniversary love pattern for free. I believe this is on her website. And it's called Love You. It's super cute. And so I stitched this, I don't even know, a couple years ago now, and made this adorable little pillow. Yeah, there's not much else to say, I suppose, except this is Coral Riviera Witchel fabric, I think. So it's that crunchy one. I chose it solely because I had this fabric that I wanted to use. And I picked everything here so that this fabric could be used for the rest of the pillow. And sometimes I do that, especially if I know it's going to be something that I'm going to put out in my house, or I have fabric that I really like that I want to use in a finish. I just match everything to it. And I don't even know if this is charted in, I'm sure it's charted in something, but it's 2 colors, right? So you could do whatever you wanted and make it work with whatever you have. So yeah. My only festive Valentine's Day piece is this cute pillow. So, stick it there. Ooh, let's stay. It'll stay. All right, so that is the only FFO I've got for you today, and it's an oldie. I do have one finish from the end of January, and it is one of the pieces I started as part of my Bauble WIPGO board, and it is this little one. This is Evergreen by Summer House Stitchworks. This was in the 2022 Bauble book from the Jingle Ball. I don't think it's available anywhere else, but I finished it. It's quick, super quick stitch. It is called for in DMC 3 colors. I stitched it in these 3 Roxy flosses. These are left over from the 2024 holiday countdown stitch along. But of course, any pink, red, or green could work, or honestly, this could be stitched in any color palette, and I think it would be really pretty. I could see it in like, you know, blues and grays, like sort of frosty colors. And I have no idea. This is mystery linen. I don't even know. It came out of, I don't even know. It's a nice neutral linen. So super excited to have one of these done. It's the only one done. My goal every month with this is just to start them, so the finish is a bonus. All right, so let's move on to, okay, so that was my last finish of January. And in total, I'm going to pop up a picture here real quick of all my January finishes. I had, I think, four. Here's my 4 January finishes. So I finished this evergreen piece that you just saw, Moonglow, which I showed you last video. Be Queer, Do Stitchcraft. This was from a Stitch bundle from like 22 or 23. This is by Noctiflora Designs. I don't know if this is available. And then also the top photo is from the 2025 Stitch for Pride spot sampler by D's 20 Stitches. This Elagabalus, a trans Roman emperor. And I will show you this month's pattern when we get to plans. So that was January finishes. I had one fully finished object, which I showed, I think, in my very first video. I framed Twilight Nature Walk by Sprouting Lupin. I worked on 17 different projects in January, stitched 23 out of 31 days, which I feel like is low. Usually I stitch more than that, but January was busy. I also had 6 new starts and yeah, those 4 finishes that you just saw. So overall, a decent January. I did knock 2 of those finishes were 2 older whips that I had on my let's get them finished this year goals. That was Be Queer to Stitchcraft and Moonglow, so that felt good. And the other 2 were obviously those 2 new starts, both in January. So let's look at whips, because that's usually what comes next in a Flosstube, right? So let me bend over and pick up this pile. Not too many this month, but enough. So end of January, I had a few more things to knock off of my January 2 stitch list. Every month I try to make a list of the whips that I want to work on. Sometimes they're on a theme, sometimes they're just, oh, this should come out, this is what I feel like, whatever. January was kind of winter stitching and some previous birthday stitch-alongs that I wanted to touch because those folks had birthdays in January, and that's when those projects got started. And so the first one of those was started for Julie and Stitch's 16's birthday last year. This is Tatreez Journal. I'll put a picture in here. This is from, I got this off the Instagram account, the Tirazain Initiative. I believe you can still get this. This is like meant to be an annual sort of journal where you stitch a motif every day. Tatreez is a Palestinian embroidery. And I really enjoy stitching all of these little motifs. So I'm stitching this 1/1 on 25 count. I believe this is Overcast Lugana. It's a gray with all the called for DMC. And I'm about, not quite quarter of the way done with this. And it will fit in this frame. This is how big it is. It is very much off center right now, but it will fit in this size when I'm done. And that's actually, I'm going to fully finish it in this. So ready to go. So that was on my list to work on in January, and check. I also had a goal to work on Halloween at Hawk Run Hallow in January. I started this in February of last year. This is my Leap Day start. My Leap Day FOMO start, when I wasn't going to start something ridiculously giant on Leap Day and then couldn't resist, and so I did. So I started this with like absolutely no planning. It was not kitted up. None of those things. And so it has continued to be stitched that way, as in I do not have all the floss pulled or anything. But here it is. This is where I am. This is 40 count Dusty Cottage from Bestitch Me. And I'm stitching it with some of the DMC and some random overdyes as I so desire. It's going to be great. Gonna be great. I think this got, yeah, solid work on the 29th. I know I finished cauldron bits because all the flames were done. I added these ladle spoon situations. I added this little squiggly, and I brought this all the way over and started working up. Now I got a ways to go if I'm going to get this done in 4 years, but future me can worry about that, right? It's her problem. Next, I restarted this project. This is Hibernation Day by Heartstring Samplery. I had started this in July of last year, and Miss misunderstood how big it was. So it's not very wide. On, I think this is 36 count. It's only about 6 inches wide. And I have an 18-inch wide piece of fabric. And so why would I start it in the middle and have two 6-inch margins on either side? Like, that's crazy. So that's what I had done. And so I decided, you know what? I've only stitched on this for a day or two. I'm not wasting all that fabric. And so I restarted. So now I've done a bottom right start with normal size 2.5 inch margins. And I think it's going to end up being about this wide. I think that's about 6 inches. Maybe not quite. Yeah, we only have a little ways left to go. This is Paper Bark by Fox and Rabbit. And the floss is the Roxy floss conversion, which I'm stitching it 1/2, and I have plenty of floss, I think. But this is going to be big. It's very long, but not very wide. So far I'm pretty happy with it. And then I can show you my previous start up here in the middle. It's not ironed at the top. I only ironed the part I was going to show you, but it actually got a bit done. That cute little birdie got put in. Now I got to pick them all out. But that's, again, also future Elizabeth's problem, not current Elizabeth's problem. And so I think that knocked off everything I had left to work on in January, with the exception that I totally missed my WIPGO because of just not paying attention to what I needed to do. But that's okay. I will get it done this month. Moving into February, my February goals are roughly, I don't know if I showed my February spread last time, but I will pop it up here and move my head down here and show you what my February plans are. I think for February, I just wanted to work on things that I wanted to work on, and they don't really have a theme, except they don't have a theme. This is what Elizabeth wanted to do. That's her theme. So I've worked on a bunch of the WIPs that I had on my list. I also have my WIPGO calls on here, but let me show you my first WIP that I spent a bunch of time on this month, and that is this Greenhouse of Oddities. Here's the full picture. Lola Crow. I love this. The lighting's better over here. No. I think this is, it's Picture This plus Alchemy, I think. Can't remember. It's a 16 count Ada. That's the important bit, I think. And the color is lovely. It's also one of those soft overdyed Adas, which is why it's in the Q-snap. I can't stitch it in hand. It just looked terrible. But I did get 2 good days of this so far this month, and I got a lot of this filled in, and I think it's looking lovely. My goal right now is to fill in, like, from this upright of the greenhouse, and then there's another one, like, I think roughly here, is to get all of that in, backstitch all of that, and then move on. I think I'm going to move this way and then move this way. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on if this has to come out of the Q-snap or not, how much effort I'm going to put into, like, the planning around where I'm going to go next. I might just stitch everything I can in this view and then move on. But that's not today's problem either. Oh, so good, right? So good. Her new one is about to be released, and I don't know if you've seen the preview, but it just was a peacock, a crazed looking peacock. So we'll see what the 2025 stitch along is going to be. All right, so the next WIP that I worked on, which should have also gotten worked on in January, oops, is this. This is Midnight Magic by Stitchrovia, Emma Congdon. This is in an old issue of Cross Stitcher magazine, I'm pretty sure, but also you can get it on her website as a PDF, maybe also Etsy, not sure. Excuse me for 1 second. Excuse me. Given that I've already done this once, my voice is probably going to go, and that's not going to be great for any of you, so apologies in advance. This was on my WIPGO board. In January was the call, and called for February, and in January I just completely spaced on the one more day it was supposed to get. Like, I even had it on my list, work on it on this day, and then just worked on something else. No good reason. But this is where I am now. So this is Fiberlicious Hemi Fibers. Colorway is called Wicked Night. It was the fabric of the month, 32 count Lugana. And I'm stitching it in all the called for DMC. And what I got done in the last couple days is this bat. I worked more on this witch, and I started in on these letters down here, which those are no joke in the stitching department. So I'm counting this as, since I worked on it 2 days in February already, I've counted off my February WIPGO as complete, and I'm going to do one more day so I can go back and knock off the January one that I just spaced on. And I mentioned in my previous video, I think, that I thought I was going to get a lot done on this, and I did not. That was actually a lot of stitching. And also I didn't mention in this version of the video, but I've actually been sick most of this week because there's some crud going around, and I was unfortunate enough to get it. And so there were a couple days where, you know, stitching just wasn't happening. But, or if it did, it was 25 stitches, and I was like, yes, check that box. Gotta take the wins where you can, folks, right? But I love this, and I would really like to get it done. Anyway, WIPGO, unfortunately or fortunately, it's now gotten all its WIPGO it's going to get this year, which I always overestimate, and I should know this about myself, how much I'm going to get done on a WIPGO call, and know that it's not really going to get me to a finish, but I think it will. And then I'm like, oh, well, I put 4 days into it, so it must be almost done. And then no, it's going to take another 3 weeks. Excuse me. Oh, well. All right. 2 more whips, and then we will move on to new starts. So this is The Key to Growth by Yasmin from Yasmin's Made with Love. And I really like this. It's called The Key to Growth, and which I might have just said. And it says inclusivity is the key to growth. And I feel like I liked this before, and I like it even more today. And I think that's a really good thing for folks to be thinking about right now. How can we be more inclusive of folks from all different backgrounds and walks of life in everything that we do? Anyway, I am stitching this on 36 count vintage country mocha, and I'm stitching it in Roxy Floss and DMC, which it is called for in Roxy Floss and DMC. However, my Roxy Floss are not the same as the called for. I didn't have any of them, but I had others, and so I subbed in what I had. So this is my palette. I feel like it's a little bit more autumnal maybe than the called for, a little darker. But I think it's beautiful. I would like to finish this year too. But the top border, this goes all the way over, and this is going to be, you know, full coverage in there, and then it's repeated on the bottom. That's a lot of stitching, so need to get on that. But I got a lot done this month, actually. I've worked on all of this up here, which doesn't look like a lot, but it's a lot. I think I stitched maybe one of the other flowers or something. But love this, love this. I'm really feeling the garden themed flower patterns right now, which is also evident in the next piece I'm about to show you, which is by Michelle from Bendy Stitchy Designs. This is Rappaccini's Quaker. This was released at market last year. Was also in the Poison Garden excuse me, stitch box from Starlight Stitchery a few years ago. And here's where I am. Oh, this is so good, isn't it? So I'm stitching this with all the called for, it's all Classic Colorworks, is what it's charted in. And the fabric, I cannot remember what the name is. It was a fabric of the month from Forbidden Fiber Co. And it has a name that is like New Year's Day themed. Like, if I remember, I'll write it down. Or if I can figure it out, I'll put it on the thing, because I'm sure I've got the rest of it somewhere, because this wasn't the full half fat quarter. But anyway, I really like this so much. I like the design of it. I like where it came, like the inspiration. I really like it on this dirty fabric. I'll show you the whole piece, but it's like silver and gold. And I'm gonna make it into a drum, which is going to be lovely. I hope. That's all going to be down to my drum finishing skills, so hence the I hope. Pattern's beautiful. I was thinking about this because Nashville Needlework Market is coming up next month, and there's tons of posts lately for what's coming out. And I was trying to think of what I bought last year, and did I start all the things I purchased last year? And I think I did. I bought this, which is clearly started. And I know I got Brew Crew by Counting Puddles, which is started. And then I feel like I got one more thing, but I cannot for the life of me remember. So anyway, I feel like even if I only started 2 of the 3 things I bought, that's doing very well. I try not to buy anything from, I try to limit my Nashville purchases because they tend to be impulse purchases, and I have plenty of patterns. And if I still like them, they're still going to be there. And I keep telling myself that. Although I do have a cart started with Top Knot Stitcher, so there's that. We'll see. We'll see if I pull the trigger before next video. Okay, so those are all my whips. Not too shabby. I think I've almost started or worked on everything that I had on my whip working on plan. Sorry, my tablet logged out with my list on it, so I'm logging myself back in real quick. Yeah, the only thing else I want to work on is Witch's Road by Jet X Stitch, and that's because I really just, it's happy. It feels happy to me, and I want to work on it. For WIPGO, I need to work on Salem 1692 sampler. I'll put a picture here. This needs 3 days. And then I have 2 new starts planned for my Bauble WIPGO, which I will talk about here in a minute because I want to show you my 2 new starts for February 1st. And then we'll move into haul/plans. The things that I started so far this month are this one. So I don't have a picture of this because it's only a paper pattern right now. I went to Acorn Gathering 2 weekends ago. So this video, my last video, I think I filmed on Saturday and published it on Sunday while I was at Acorn Gathering, which is a small, like, 1-day retreat that's hosted by Acorns and Threads, which is in Portland, Oregon. It's my local needlework shop. It's where I live. And I attended on Zoom this year, which I hadn't done before. I've been in person twice. This year I attended on Zoom. It's just a 1-day retreat. You get a pattern, you get to stitch all day, you get to shop if you want, all those things. This year's guest designer, and the guest designer is always a surprise, was Lola Crow. Her name is Amy, and she actually lives in the Portland area, so she was there in person at the retreat this year, which is very nice. The 2 previous years, the designers were on Zoom, so I was like, well, this year I'm going to attend on Zoom, and maybe I can chat with, the designer more. And this year, of course, they were in person, and you get what you get. It's fine. I'm not mad about it. I'm just like, meh. Because last year was Fox and Rabbit, and the year before was Stephanie Webb from Lindy Stitches. So makes sense that they weren't here in person, but I didn't actually know that Lola Crow Cross Stitch was local, which is super cool. Anyway, but do you want to see the pattern? Because the pattern is adorable. Here's the pattern. It's called Acorns and Friends. I did post a picture of this. It might have just been in my Instagram story, so it's probably gone now. But super cute. So how she described this was basically if all the little friends of the forest got together for like a craft day, what would they be working on? And so you've got the raccoon who is stitching his trash can because that's his favorite thing. The squirrels stitch the acorns. The little skunk is stitching a flower. And the possum, who is playing dead so adorably, is stitching a little mushroom. There's little mushrooms here. So very, very, very cute. We got this with all the DMC, which there is quite the list of, and fabric. And I got 36 count linen. Here, I'll show you. This is the big piece. It's going to be this big. I already trimmed my fabric down. And bonus about, zooming from home is you can trim your fabric down and serge it in the comfort of your own sewing room. But anyway, I did a center start and I got the whole little raccoon done. Isn't he so cute? Oh my goodness. Yeah, very cute. Very cute little raccoon. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I really have anything else too exciting to say about this, except this is cute, and I did see someone on Instagram's already finished this, which is crazy. The other thing that we got as part of the retreat was this cute little needle book made by Corey, who is the lady who makes all the bags that Acorns and Threads sells. And usually if you go to a retreat, you get something that she has made. I know I have a matching like zip pouch from a previous year in the same fabric. But anyway, so yeah, super fun. Super fun. And then I have one more new start, and then I don't know if I have a bunch of plans. A little bit of haul and a bunch of plans. I also started this. This is a free stitch along, free mystery stitch along from Fox and Rabbit. They do a mystery stitch along every year. And I'm showing you just what's been released through February. And so it's called the Cloister Garden. And I started this, I don't know, a couple days ago. I don't have a ton done, but I did start the center motif. I wanted to see what February looked like before I started January, even though it really didn't make much difference. Here's where I am. This square here is the center of the piece, I think. Yeah. This is 36 count eucalyptus, also from Fox and Rabbit. So stitching Fox and Rabbit on Fox and Rabbit. And it is being stitched with a variety of flosses. So if you are interested in this, join the Facebook group and you'll see this being done in every color combination known to man on every kind of fabric you've ever seen. I think there's 20-some thousand people in that Facebook group. It's insane. But mine is being done with a mix of floss. So I've got some Roxy, some Fox and, let's see, some Roxy, some Classic Colorworks, some Pirate and Robin, some Forbidden Fiber Co. This is where we are right now with the palette. We'll see. We'll see if I keep adding colors. I just added, let's see. So where I started was, I wanted to use these 3 greens from Roxy Floss. These were from this year's, no, from 2 years ago, I think, from the Holiday Countdown Stitch Along. Because I was like, it's garden. I want to use these gorgeous greens. I love this pom-pom. Or is this pom-poms? Yeah. I love this variegated green. And then I wanted some blues, and so I kind of did the same thing. And so we've got these 2 blues so far, which also I feel like play nice with this greeny blue. And then I felt like we needed a pink situation, and so we started with this mauve, which is called Rose from Pirate and Robin. And this is Dulce de Leche. And then I feel like it needs a punch, like a strong red. And so right now we're leaning towards being Cherry from Classic Colorworks because I feel like those colors play nice together. So we'll see. I might also add a gray, but I will have to wait until I see the rest of the pattern. I feel like there might be some stuff that I just want to be a very like neutral, like a non-color, but I don't want white. And so I'm thinking maybe a gray. I don't think it's going to be tan, but anyway, we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the pattern lays out. So that was a new start. And those were my only new starts so far in February. Yeah. So, well, one was in January. I guess my only new start for February is Cloister Garden. Yeah, that's correct. I have a bunch of new starts planned. I just have not gotten to them yet. And while I'm sitting here holding this bag, I will talk about haul really quickly. So I joined the Evertote Bag of the Quarter Club. And this is the wedge tote, the medium wedge tote that came in that. It's really nice. And I should have waited. Before I zip this up, I should have shown you there's also this really nice, what is this called? Thread bed. That came with it. And then there's 2 more bags that came as part of it. There is this little one. These adorable little mushrooms on it. It doesn't have anything in it yet. And then this one, which they did portrait instead of landscape. These adorable little hedgies. Very cute. So, yeah, I'm really happy with these. I've never bought a bag from Evertote before, or actually I don't really buy project bags in general. Most of the ones I have I've made myself, or they've come in like they've come as like a oh, as a retreat or something. But very nice, very nice. I'm excited to be in this quarterly club. I feel like a quarterly club is the right level of bag purchasing for me. Also, I just don't feel like sewing right now, and I really need project bags, so it's also good. Yeah. Anyway, that's a random aside. Okay, let's talk about plans for my plan new starts, because I do have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 more new starts that I want to get to this month. Let's look at Stitch for Pride first. So Stitch for Pride 2025 is trans history themed. So this is by D's 20 Stitches. Unfortunately, you can no longer purchase this pattern, but if you did, I will share with you what I'm working on. And I did see also that a lot of folks have just gotten their flosses that were custom dyed for this. And so I'm excited to see those being stitched up. There was an issue with Canada Post with the, well, not an issue. There was, Canada Post was on strike. And so that slowed down floss deliveries at the end of the year, early this year. And so a lot of folks are just getting their flosses right now. So I'm anticipating seeing lots more of these stitched and posted on Instagram in the coming months. But anyway, here is where mine is currently. So I've got January done. And this is Elagabalus. Elagabalus was a trans Roman emperor. And this month's is Hatshepsut. I think I got that right. Hatshepsut. And she was a Egyptian pharaoh. And I hopefully popped the pattern of Hatshepsut's piece up in here, and I know it's going to go right below Elagabalus down here. So I did not obviously get any of the called for. The called for fabric was dyed by Jessie from Mislaid Pages, and the flosses were dyed by, I apologize, I cannot remember their name. But I know you can't get them anymore either, but I've seen a couple people stitch with them. So if I can remember who stitched with them, I will put them some examples where you can go look on Instagram in my description box below. But I'm stitching mine on Gray Magic from Bestitched Me, and my floss is by Dying for Sass, and it's in the color Wisdom. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited. All right, so that's going to be a new start. In the near future. Got to finish it this month, so it's got to get started soon. Excuse me. And then I'm going to show you my Bauble WIPGO Board plan new starts. And so I've got 2 of them. Number 7 and number 8. And I don't remember which one of these is 7 and which one of these is 8, but it doesn't really matter that much. So number 7, well, I don't know. One of them is this. This is Ringing in Good Cheer, I think, by Satsuma Street. And these are stitched on perforated paper, full coverage. I'm not going to do that. In my last video, I just looked at these and was like, I wonder if I had fabric in my stash where I could stitch them on colored fabric, make them into cute little pillows, do the same thing, but not have to do perforated paper, because I don't have any perforated paper, and that was the other thing, is I don't have to buy anything to do this. So that's what we're going to do. I pulled from my stash a couple of pieces of fabric. I also really wanted to make sure that I was using the same count, fabric type, and dyer, just because I think it'll make it look more consistent and the sizing right. And so I've got the blue sorted. This is Mermaid Mules by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. This was a fabric of the month. I'm pretty sure, yeah, June's color of the month from I can't remember which year. And so this will be the middle bell. And then this little tiny piece here is also from the same dyer. This is Peach of My Heart. This will be the tiny bell. And I think I don't have anything for this bell. Now, I don't have any red fabric, period, so I would have to either sub something or make a choice. So I don't know what we're going to do about the big bell yet. We might just do it in a different color. We might end up stitching that one full coverage. I don't know. I don't have a plan. But I've got 2 out of 3, which is enough to get started. And just for reference, here are all the DMCs. So this is a bright Satsuma Street palette. And this is actually, if you were going to stitch it in the red, this is the red. It's 666. So it's a red, but I think I have, I know I have something. I just don't know if I have any more of it. I'm gonna have to go through maybe some projects and see if I've stored away a pinkish red color that I think might be okay. And if not, I might have to buy something or figure it out. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. So that is my first planned baubled start. And probably what I'm going to do is start with the little pink guy, because I've got that piece of fabric and it's the little one, and maybe I can get one of them done. The second one that I'm starting this month is by Jeanette Douglas. And so it is from this book. This is the 23 book. And it's on the back. It's this one. And then in the book, it's actually called, I'd called it Pincushion Pattern because it is called Pincushion Pattern, but it's actually Jeanette's Trio. And so there are 3 patterns that are all very similar. There's this pincushion, and then there's 2 more. One is 36 count, one is 40 count, and they're charted to fit on this little spool. Excuse me. I'm stitching the pincushion, honestly, just because I like that little bird. I probably won't finish it like this, or maybe I will, but I pulled all the classic colorworks that are called for, which are really pretty. I think I ended up subbing a couple because there were some other overdyes in there that I don't have, but it's a really, it's a pretty beautiful Christmas palette, right? And then from my stash, I grabbed this piece of linen. This is, I believe, Latte by Fiber on a Whim. I think it's 36 count. I think the colors, yeah, probably would like to see the floss on the fabric, right? So it's a little dirtier, more coffee tea colored than the called for, which was, oh, I don't know. In the picture, it's like very cream colored. Let's see. Oh, I forgot. This one's like this in this book. This one's kind of hard to find. It's on a bunch of different pages. Oh, it's on Fawn by Picture This Plus, which I don't have either. Or 40 count Dusty Road, or any neutral, any count would look lovely. So Jeanette Douglas knows what she's talking about, right? Any neutral would look lovely. So I'm gonna get that started. And those are, that will get that WIPGO, those 2 WIPGO calls done for this month, which is good. I am enjoying stitching these little Christmas smalls. They are very satisfying because they're easy to finish. I hope that they turn into actual finishes and maybe fully finishes this year. And that's actually my plan for July, is to focus on, like, everyone that I start between now and then, I'm going to try to finish them all in July and maybe fully finish some of them. Because I don't have a ton of Christmas. And I feel like a mid-year, like, fully finish, like, push will feel very, like, motivating. Or not, but that's the plan. Okay, one more plan new start. Picture here, this is a book of psychic reading by Haunted Frame Stitchery. So I talked about this last video that I had purchased it and gotten this floss. And I am kitted up and ready to go, Lindsay, if you are as well. So if you want to start this next week, let's start this. So here is my floss that I got from Forbidden Fiber Co. This is a one of a kind. It's 2 shades of pink. So I think I'm going to fussy cut this and use it for the pinks. These are the called for pinks. They are 601 and 605. And so you can see this is pretty similar. The light pink's pretty close. Maybe it's a little purpler. This is a little redder, but it's going to be fine, right? It's going to be totally fine. Any 2 pinks would be great. And then this is the fabric that I've got. This is Dovetail by Forbidden Fiber Co. And then the other 2 colors are black and white, so they're going to be fine. The charted is pearl gray, I think. I think it's a Zweigart, so I feel like this dovetail is going to be lovely. And it's got a little bit variegated, so it kind of looks like an older book. So, like an old parchment sort of situation. So excited about that. Those are all my little start plans. So I think that's going to get me through the rest of February. I'm also going to pull out Halloween and Hawk Run Hollow, but I feel like my next video will be before the end of the month. So I may or may not have done that by then. I've got a little bit more haul to show you. I went to the thrift store the other day and I got this old copy of Needlewords, which is a cross-stitch magazine I'd never heard of. I got this for $1. And so I picked it up because it had an interview with Marilyn from Told in the Garden in it. And I thought that would be something interesting to read. And then one of her Amish style patterns. So Marilyn, what's her last name? Levitt Imblum is Lavender and Lace, Told in the Garden. She's Nora Corbett's mom, Mirabilia. So I thought that was just an interesting little piece of cross-stitch history that I didn't know. It kind of tells the story of how she got started in cross-stitch. So you don't always find decent cross-stitch at the thrift store around here. So I thought this was fun for me. So I'll add it to my stash. And then I won a giveaway the other day, which I never win. So Sarah from I Swear I'm Stitching had a giveaway. And I'm just going to show you a couple of things that I got. She was giving away, I think some, I don't exactly remember why, but anyway, she sent me this cute postcard with this cute little pattern on it. And then I'm super excited about this. It's got the quirky Quaker mythical creatures in it. So I really want to stitch all of these. And then some cute little counting pins. And this really pretty embroidery kit. Which, Sarah, I don't blame you at all for wanting to keep the frame. The frame is super cute. But I think I've got a frame that'll work. I really want to stitch this. This is actually what I really wanted, which is not cross stitch at all. So I was super psyched to win. So thank you so much, Sarah. Very excited for all of this. And there were some other goodies in there, some quilting related things. I'm just not going to show you all of them because if you want to see them, go watch her video. She'll show you what she sent me. The last thing I want to mention that was part of my haul for this month is a set of patterns from the Cupid Collective, which is a group of 7 designers who put together a really nice set of Valentine's love-ish patterns. I don't know if I want to, yeah, I mean, it's the Cupid Collective. They're Valentine's patterns. Stitch X Love, Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe, Dee from Dee's 20 Stitches. Hold on, let me get there. All of the folks who were part of the group. Don't want to leave anybody out. There's a picture here of all of them. Oh, why? Oh, Soft Girl Stitches, Sprouting Lupin, Stitch Tits, and Cross Stitch the Globe. Yeah. And so if you make a $15 donation to one of 4 charities, the Rainbow Railroad, A Loving Spoonful, Al Otro Lotto, or the Pace Society, you can send an email to them with proof of your donation and you'll get all of the patterns. So I don't know which one I'm going to stitch first. I'm leaning towards either Bendy Stitchies or Stitch X Loves just because they're small and I can do them in one color, but they're all lovely. So maybe you will see me stitching those in the coming weeks. I don't know yet. I have lots of plans, right? I also really like the Sprouting Lupin one, and Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe, she put out a whole video just about all the patterns, so I highly recommend you go watch that. Hers is actually from a photo that she took of the bug. There's a Volkswagen bug in there, and then she designed the Quakers around it. So all very cool, very talented group of folks right there. So that was the last piece of haul that I had. All right, I think that's all I've got. I'm gonna go do some stitching, watch some Flosstube, avoid the footballs, and I will see you all in a few weeks. Thanks, folks. Happy stitching.